He's so sweet.
Oh, yeah. Women. Always like my dad. Unfortunately, I don't think I inherited those genes.
I don't know.
You want to come back to mine? I mean, it's probably a mess. And I have to put Bertie to bed. Wow, this is getting better by the second, isn't it? How about we have a bottle of red and leftover chicken nuggets.
Talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
Welcome to episode 391 of the Talk of the Street, an unofficial Coronation Street catch-up podcast that might be using the phrase, well, this doesn't make any sense, more than normal this week. I'm Gavin.
And I'm ready for spring.
Oh my God. Oh, I was just thinking that today, just with the snow and the recent snowfall, I'm so done with winter.
Yeah.
And it's the middle of January.
Yeah.
And we've still got 2-3 months of this left.
I think what makes it worse is because we keep getting false spring. We keep getting these like 50, 60 degree days in between the 20 and 30 degree days where like it all melts away and it seems all right for a few days and then it just comes crashing down again.
Worse than last year, I would say. More snow than last year already.
Really?
Yeah, I don't only remember snow blowing the drive a couple of times.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad last year.
So fucking done with winter.
It's like either just be one thing or the other thing. Don't be a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
That's right. How are you this week?
Yesterday and today, I just kind of feel like I don't want to do much. You know, it's like I have stuff to do, but I just don't want to do anything right now.
It's the middle of the month. It's the middle of January. This is how you're supposed to feel at this time of year, I think.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there are other elements to it. Like there will be times I sit down to read one of my books and I sit down and I start to doom scroll instead. And it's never a good idea, especially right now, especially in this country. Unless you know, I'm watching a reel from one of those British guys who've come to Michigan and are just shocked by everything.
Takes a bit getting used to.
It does.
Well, that's good.
How about you? You're sore.
I'm a wee bit sore today.
Yeah. You were a little sore last night, too, when we trounced the competition at trivia. We only got 3 questions wrong the whole night.
That's not bad. I think the maximum score you can get is 1,200 and something, and we scored 1,100 and something.
Yeah.
That's pretty decent.
We're superstars. Superstar.
And humble. So that's good.
Nobody has ever accused me of that.
No. And we're not about to start now.
No.
All right. Shall we preamble, my dear, then?
Yes, please.
Give us some of that knowledgeable Corrie news.
Always remember, the Cayman Island flag has a turtle on it.
It does.
It does.
And a Union Jack.
Yeah.
Those are the clues.
Yes.
Other people in the bar did know that.
Oh, I'm sure.
We weren't the only ones that got that right.
Got it
but
right.
I was quite surprised that more than us got that right.
Yeah, because we've actually been to the Cayman.
Because I was the only person in the bar that time that got the Scotland flag right.
I was the only person in that bar who knew what Emily Dickinson looked like. All right. And yet we get up most of the football questions wrong. So it evens out.
Yep.
Anyway, Beverly Collard, a.k.a. Steve's mom, Liz, has landed a new role on an Irish soap called Fair City, set in Dublin.
Very good.
So yes, that's Bev back to work and not, you know, looking for ghosties in her attic.
She still does that, but on her spare time now.
Apparently she was fishing for a role on EastEnders, which would have been interesting.
She's good.
She is good. I was quite worried because remember when she left Corrie, she wasn't feeling very well. So I was like, oh, is this the last we will see? Because remember, she was supposed to go back on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, but she was too ill to do so.
Oh, was that right?
And then there was the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just fucked everything up.
It did.
I remember her fondly sitting on a make-believe plane
Yeah.
as she left for Spain.
Yeah.
But then that wasn't her final exit, was it? Her final exit was just so...
Yeah, I remember we were both upset by her final exit that it was a damp squib,
Very much so.
and she deserved better.
And a gig in Ireland ain't too bad.
Ain't too bad at all. I do love Dublin. It's one of my favorite cities.
Well done, Bev.
Instagram gave us all a flutter of hope as Jack James Ryan posted a photo of himself in Al Mulvaney's dressing room with the Amy actor as well as Harriet Bibby, sparking hopes that Jacob Hay may be returning to the street.
Oh,
Did you see this
I did
picture?
not.
Yeah. I gasped.
Normally, if I see someone in El Mulvaney's dressing room, I'm calling the police.
I audibly gasped when I saw it because I'm a Jacob Hay stan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unashamed of that. So, you know, the idea, because when his dad Damien showed back up for a while, we're like, ooh, does this mean Jacob's coming back? And then he didn't.
No.
So he is working like at a studio nearby where they shoot Corrie. So he may have just been visiting, but a girl can dream.
Yeah, we like Jacob.
We do.
Well, after he redeemed himself.
Right. And we like Jack even more. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
seems
a real
good guy.
person.
Mhm. Seems a good guy.
Yes. And finally, Jude Reardon has assured fans he has not left the show. He just had some new headshots made because he's growing up. People are like, oh, because
Right.
he got new headshots and he posted them on Instagram, and people are like, oh my God, does this mean you're leaving the street and you're looking for new work? And he's like, no, I just needed new headshots. Kate Brooks has hinted that Sam will play a role in the Will and Megan storyline. So,
Oh.
ugh.
Oh, fucking hell. Jeez.
Kate Brooks continues to ruin my life. And that's Corrie News.
Oh.
I don't think in that way. I don't think in that way. I think he may be one of the people who twigs the truth more than anything. But
Because Sam's about that age.
I don't even want to think of that. Don't say that. Don't say that aloud. That boy will be 12 for the rest of his life in my brain.
Headshots or not. You're 12 years old. Damn it.
It is weird that he hasn't been in the show because there's been an awful lot of life-changing plot stuff going on lately that you'd think he would be a part of. Christmas.
And we've had quite a lot of Nick walking lightly from one place to another that normally has Sam somewhere in the background.
And dropping off lasagnas.
Right. Oh, well,
Well,
a terrifying end to Corrie News. But to appreciate the light, you have to have some dark. But what's this beacon on the horizon?
what is it?
It looks suspiciously like the feedback section that I like to call Everyone's a Critic.
Physical mail.
There's physical mail.
There is physical mail.
I went to the post office today.
You remembered.
It took forever.
Did it? Mm-hmm. Was there a line?
No, because I complained that the combination on my P.O. box doesn't work. So many people had to get involved in that.
Just
And
like
not
the first time.
And not one of them knows how to change the combination.
And not one of them could explain why the combination all of a sudden just changed,
Nope.
reverted back to whatever it was.
It's an old-timey combination. It's not like a keypad or anything like that. That's a spin it to the left, spin it to the right sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how that changes without someone deliberately changing it.
Right.
But according to them, nobody has because nobody knows how to.
Right. Yeah. So
So-
how did it happen?
I have no idea.
Nobody
but this
knows.
conversation is now starting to be very reminiscent of the conversation in the post office. So
Oh, right.
let's move on to the physical mail.
Yes. Dear this is a postcard from Canadian Helen. The stamp has squirrels on it.
Squirrel stamp.
Squirrel stamp. And they are gray squirrels. They are not red squirrels. They are not black squirrels. They are gray squirrels.
Canadian Helen wrote us a letter, damn it.
Yes. Dear Helen and Gavin.
That's us.
Another lovely postcard from Stratford, Ontario. Cheers from Canadian Helen. And the Festival Theatre in Stratford is right here. Now, the fun thing about this postcard is in our upstairs bathroom, we have a poster for the Amadeus production at the Stratford Theatre in Ontario. So,
Has Canadian Helen installed secret cameras in her bathroom? I hope not.
especially that one.
Yeah, that one sees a lot of action.
So yes, thank you so much. This is our second Stratford, Ontario piece of artwork for the house
And our third Canadian Helen postcard.
in 2 weeks.
Well,
2 last week and 1 this week.
we didn't do any last week.
So thank you very much, Canadian Helen, for all of your postcards, but especially this one.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Always nice to go to the P.O. box and there's a postcard there.
Yes. You know what's even better?
Chocolate?
When we get those slips saying you have a package
Oh, I like that.
and there's chocolate in it.
Or crisps.
Or both.
Do you know we are blessed
We are blessed.
with snacks?
We are.
Running a little bit low at the moment, but hey, what can you do?
You still haven't eaten your Swedish fish from Christmas.
I kind of went off Swedish fish. I sickened myself of them.
I'm going to eat them this week then.
Help yourself.
Thank you.
Tina writes, Gavin, that's me.
That's you.
This is a formal apology to you. I have been getting so annoyed when you say Corriedales, and I audibly correct it every time. Now, however, since you explained your reasoning, I am 100% with you. I'll only call it Corriedales and write it as such from now on. I should never have questioned you. Please forgive me. Granted.
Yeah. The poster still says Corriedale, though. And the letterboxed entry says Corriedale. So
Yeah.
you have to write strongly worded letters to ITV to get that changed.
Then Nikki writes, and this might not be Nikki because there was some exotic flourishes on some of the letters that I didn't quite recognise. But Nikki says, disagree on Corriedales. Sounds awful that way.
It does.
But it was a great show. The Steve and Vikram bit made me laugh. It made me laugh too. Then Gary W. says, I know Gavin loves a spreadsheet. This is true. So you're probably already aware, but this week's episode, The Driver Didn't Make It, is your first episode over 2 hours since the 5th of July 2024.
Oh, wow.
When you did your Q&A episode. And maybe only the third or fourth 2 hour episode since I started listening in 2022, and possibly the first ever regular episode that didn't feature a guest or a special segment that broke the 2 hour barrier. Something I normally like about your podcast is it's dependably around the hour and 45 minute mark, which is the perfect length for me to drive to my in-laws and back on a Sunday afternoon. So this week I had to sit in the garage for an extra half hour, running the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. It was just about worth it. Good job, and I really enjoyed Gav's appearance on the Coronation Street podcast too.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much, Gary. That's very kind of you to say so.
Yes.
And I think I was aware that our breaking the 2 hour barrier is
rare.
I try so hard to keep it under 2 hours, but it was just impossible last week.
It doesn't really happen on this, but I know on List of Lists, you get quite snippy when we're running longer than we typically do.
I like an hour for List of Lists, and I like about an hour 45 for this.
Yeah.
Seems to work.
Yeah. Sometimes we want to talk longer about things, though.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes it happens.
And Tara writes, I think I'm falling for you, Megan. Helen, your Daniel impression was very Patrick Star-esque, and I'm absolutely going to need some more of that. And that was from the Spoiler Alert show. So if you want
So you
more,
should save that for the Spoiler Alert show.
yeah. So if you want some more Helen's Patrick Star impersonations,
Yeah.
$2 a month.
You have to pay me to talk like Patrick Star.
David says, hi at Corrie Podcast, just seen Hamnet, wonderful film, Oscar for Jessie Buckley please. When Agnes told her brother that Will had to go to London, you'll never guess his reaction.
London!
I think I remember that at the time.
Yes, and I think I remember us chuckling quietly in the theater.
Also, Mr. Osborne is a fanny. He certainly is, David.
Yes.
And I look forward to seeing Hamnet on streaming so I can add that to my London collection. But just so funny, this is a random Hamnet.
Oh,
And
yeah,
amongst the
a man
Coronation
in
Street.
Elizabethan dress saying, London!
Right. Ian Les Paul says, hi, you two. I have to congratulate you on the Talk of Coronation Street podcast. I very much enjoyed it. If it had been crap, I would tell you. Only the straight goods here. So if possible, let's have more The Talk of Coronation Street. Thanks, and keep it coming. From Ian Les Paul, second ice stack on the North Pole. Thank you very much, Ian. I'm so glad that people enjoyed the Coronation Street
And thank
collab.
you to Ian's wife.
It was so much fun. It dropped a couple of days after our last episode dropped.
Uh-huh.
It's really nice to chat with Ali and
Yeah.
and be a guest.
Yeah, it's fun talking to other people about things you love instead of just the person that you talk to on a daily basis anyway. Not that I don't love talking to you.
And Cheeky writes, I'm going to call this week absurdly simple. Was it nice to see Debbie get slapped in the face by Summer?
No.
Was it cathartic at all to see Megan be in fear that she might be pregnant? Absolutely. But none of that really holds a candle to the acting of Debbie, or should I say Sue, when she opened the box and we discovered that the theory that we've been holding on to for ages was actual reality. It was a pretty basic week with more fallout, so there really isn't that much to say that would give the storylines more weight than they tried to carry. Hopefully next week will be better. I quite enjoyed it this week, actually.
Yeah,
It
wasn't.
was all right.
Somebody drew a penis on Ken's car, so I can't hate it that much.
And we will, I think, quite enjoy talking about
And
that.
Gary talked about the hair on the balls.
Will you stop ruining it? I have notes.
Okay. We didn't get to see it, though. That's the shameful part.
And I think we should have, because the window of the building behind it should have cast a reflection. I was going to Photoshop something up, but do you know what? I'm not feeling that great. I just could not be bothered.
Aw.
Thank you to Cheeky, to Ian Les Paul, David, Tara, Gary W, Nikki, Tina, and Canadian Helen for their correspondence this week. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yes.
Feedback's always welcome. Send us your thoughts and I'll probably read them out. Get us at the talk of the street at gmail.com. Our DMs are open at Corrie Podcast. I would love it when people write actual letters to us. Send us your proper mail to the Talk of the Street, PO Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan, 48827. Please note that we reserve the right to edit feedback, but only in the interests of brevity. And now let's podcast for coffee.
Friend of the podcast.
At ease, Helen. We have a new friend of the podcast, as that music may have hinted at.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also, this happened as we were recording the spoiler alert last week.
Oh,
Remember?
that's right.
But we can officially now welcome Pam as our new friend of the podcast. Thank you very much, Pam.
How could I have forgotten Pam?
Yeah. Well, let me remind you.
Yes.
Pam writes, I am a new friend. Better late than never, as I've been listening since 2019. You're my
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I know. You're my comfort listen as I make the 1.5 hour drive to and from work each day. I truly believe I would have driven off the bridge if not for you both making me laugh every day on that slog. I'll go back and re-listen to old episodes after I've heard the latest one. I can't wait to have new content of spoilers and classic takes. By the way, have you seen the episode where Ken is taking a bath while he's talking to his dad? Creepy as fuck. Anyway, cheers from the Tampa Bay area. I'd like to be referred to as Pam, but not that one, since I'm not the Pam who was once engaged to Helen's dad. Superb.
Right, because she was from Worcester, not Tampa Bay.
It's so funny.
It makes
Well done, Pam.
makes me smile that she.
A badge, I think, for paying attention. And also, listening since 2019, we started in 2018.
Yeah, it's almost from the beginning.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Much love and appreciation to you both. Well, thank you very much indeed, Pam, for
Thank you,
becoming
Pam.
our new friend of the podcast.
And I'm hoping this encourages a listener named Anita to become a friend of the podcast as well. At least 2 of them.
Thank you very much, Pam, for becoming a friend of the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the bonus content and access to our Discord.
Yes.
The Talk of the Street is and will always be free on your podcast provider and on the YouTubes. But if you think a show is worth anything more than the time it takes to listen to it, and if you want to show your appreciation or you want more weekly and monthly content, here's your options. Sign up to be a friend of the podcast for as little as $2 a month. You can sign up at patreon.com/thetalkofthestreet, ko-fi.com/thetalkofthestreet, or hit the join button on our YouTube channel at the Talk of the Street. No, at youtube.com/The Talk of the Street podcast. Friends of the podcast get access to our weekly spoiler show, The Talk of the Street Spoiler Alert, and our monthly classic Corrie show, The Talk of the Street Classics. And if that wasn't enough, you also get a shout out at the end of every podcast and your name in the credits of the flagship show, and access to the aforementioned Discord, which is fair taking off.
Yes.
It's nice and busy.
I keep meaning to look into that, and
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
And I didn't really understand it until a few weeks ago, and I'm glad we've got it set up now. It's a nice little community for people chatting dead friendly like.
Yes.
So, if you prefer something a little less formal, you can also buy us next week's coffee by going to ko-fi.com/The Talk of the Street, and all our links can be found at linktree/Corrie Podcast. And remember, you can always support the podcast for free, get us in front of new listeners by liking, subscribing, rating, and reviewing wherever you get your podcasts. Shall we dive into this shortened week, my dear?
Yes, please.
Now, you know how I've been calling it The Lonely Grave of Tia Wardley for
Yes.
slightly too long. Well,
Yeah.
I've got a new title for that storyline now.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
The week that it ends.
Yeah. So let's talk about, well, that was an enormous waste of time.
Also, rest in peace, Tia Wardley. Your death meant nothing.
Your ghost isn't going to get the justice that they deserve.
No.
On Monday, Carla has been back at number 6 for more stuff and is in a rush to leave when Swain tells her about visiting Becky and her concerns that she's about to be dragged down with her thanks to her being super stupid. Carla doesn't think Becky would do this to Betsy, but Swain thinks Becky has nothing more to lose and asks that Carla looks after Betsy if she ends up in the clink, and Carla agrees, and this is overheard by Betsy, who is sitting on the stairs of Discovery. Once again, the stairs of Discovery deliver some discovery.
Isn't it the stairway of discovery?
Yeah. Becky's plea hearing is today, and it's all the knicker people can talk about. Betsy's struggling and asks for the day off, and Carla is understanding, so agrees. But rather than go home, Betsy goes to the prison. And Becky is thrilled to see her and looking the cleanest that she's done in months.
Yeah, because in prison they force you to take a shower.
They hosed her down. Get rid of that
Get the
fishy smell.
the lice spray and stuff. Mm-hmm. Shocked they didn't shave her head.
Yeah, she just looks so much better in prison.
And she's gotten rid of the coat. She can't wear the coat in prison.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. She wants to know why Becky is... Betsy, that is. Betsy wants to know why Becky is playing the victim. Mason, she says, is the victim, killed for digging into Becky's death. Which I had to go back and refresh my memory, and it's true.
Yeah, he was bugging his brothers.
He was
for
bugging
what
his brothers.
Yeah.
And there was this old World War II helmet, remember, that was in his brother's living room or something?
Right.
That had been stolen, or... It was all kind of connected.
Right, yeah.
It pointed to Ant and Dec being involved somehow in what we thought was Becky's death at the time.
Right.
That Betsy was very furious about.
Right.
So this is true.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder why Betsy didn't mention this before.
I think because Betsy was assuming until now that Becky was just as much a victim as Mason was. You know, she was under the impression that Becky left for protective reasons. And now she knows that Becky was essentially part of the gang.
Whether she left for protective reasons or not, Mason still died looking into her death.
Right. But if she was actually dead, that wouldn't necessarily be her fault. But now it's definitely her fault.
Carla is the victim as well, and now she wants to put Swain away, which makes Betsy the victim. She asks Becky if she can understand how unloved she felt to be abandoned for money, and then tells her that she wishes Becky were dead. Becky doesn't really get a word in here,
Thank God.
and it's actually very well done.
It really is.
It's maybe one of Betsy's best scenes on the
It
show,
was
maybe?
so redeeming of Betsy.
That she does have a bit of brain power going on there.
Right, yeah.
She has been able to cobble all this together.
Right,
Maybe a little bit too late, but
right. And it kind of feels like she's a bit ashamed of the fact that she cobbled it together so late. Mm-hmm. That she was as duped as Lisa was.
later Betsy is worried that she's fucked everything up for her mum, but when Swain goes to see D.I. Not Costello, she learns that Becky has pled guilty and she's already been sentenced to 12 years. And Swain's name didn't come up. It's not all good news, though, as Swain is put on desk duty pending an internal investigation, and Swain has the cheek to look disappointed by this. Carla
Well,
comes...
she just got off of chair duty, didn't she? Either she or Kit are always
Both
on...
of them.
Are also on chair duty.
Yeah, they alternate. Carla comes to check on Betsy later, and she already knows what happened at the plea hearing thanks to Kit. Betsy wants Carla to stay for a takeaway, but Carla has places to go and leaves them to it. In the prison, Becky's finding that being a copper in jail is going to be a long 12 years.
Yeah, if she makes it that long.
And that is as much as we get from that
And
this
then
week.
and then that's it. No more Becky. She's done. And I'm like, you put us through this ridiculous storyline all this time
For months.
only for the ending to be a damp squib where we don't even get the hearing. We don't even get the satisfaction of somebody telling Becky she's guilty and getting put away.
And if the show wants us to think that this wasn't a horribly rushed and cobbled together job, it would put some distance between the plea hearing and the sentencing. Because Becky was only arrested last week.
Yes, well,
And here she is a week later, fully processed, sent to jail,
right.
done.
There's somebody else whose hearing was very quickly done this week, just from last week, which we'll talk about later.
Not anywhere near as quick as this, though.
Well, I mean, last week was the crash, so for
Yeah, but
Debbie to
Debbie
have...
hasn't been sentenced.
No, but
And
to
she
have...
also pled guilty.
Yeah, but to have her hearing already, essentially less than a week, or in a week.
Oh, there's aspects of both of these storylines that just
Just
don't hold water.
they don't hold water, and
And
they also don't reflect very well on the police or the British judicial system.
Well, they show the British judicial system has been super efficient and quick.
Which they're not in real life.
None of this holding people in remand for months or years on end. No, what it gives us the impression of is we're no longer interested in this now. So let's just sweep it under the carpet. We've got so many questions of this whole storyline that
Yeah.
are now never going to be answered.
Right.
Like, what was the gang? What was Becky's involvement in it? What really
Right.
was Costello's involvement in it?
Yeah. Are we going to get any more of the whole Costello
No,
thing?
I don't think
it
so.
doesn't feel like we are.
Did Becky really go to Spain? I mean, I think now maybe she probably did. But
She stayed inside the whole time?
why did she come back? Why did she only have one jacket?
She came back because she saw the engagement news in the paper or something, or through the grapevine.
And it really robbed us of a cathartic scene between Swain and Becky, because we got a very short scene in the back of an ambulance where there was a click of the handcuffs
Right.
that was quite satisfying. But
Yes.
the scene that Betsy gets with Becky is almost like the scene that Swain should have had
Yeah.
with Becky. And before she gets arrested, there should be this sort of confrontation of the evidence, and that's where you normally get at least a little bit of an explanation to it. But there was none of that. She got arrested during Corriedales. That's it. You're going to see a little bit of her later on that week,
Where she's going to threaten Lisa,
and then
the meeting with Betsy,
that's it.
and then that's it. And then her just hearing bodiless voices talking about,
I'm going to get you, copper.
I'm going to get you, copper.
Slag. Oh, Danielle's in there as well.
Yeah.
No, it's just so
She's
disappointing.
going to get knifed in the first year, isn't she?
So disappointing. Such a damp squib. And now, I don't know what we get from Carl and Swain to get them back on track again. But obviously they are going to get back on track again. But I don't think that should happen quickly, and it is going to happen quickly.
Quite frankly, I'm shocked that it's as slow as it is. Because, I fully expected Carla to be, all right, we're done, and be fine. And she's not. And I'm like, oh, wow, the show is
Dragging the tail a little bit.
actually thinking about the feelings of these characters. And how you wouldn't, immediately move back into the house with your fiance once you find out that they had sex with their dead ex-wife.
Which sounds worse than it was.
Yes.
But it was still pretty bad. It's not even the sex part that I find, or think that maybe Carla finds the most egregious. It's the she was running away to Spain bit. I kind of, a roll in the hay you can maybe write off as being a sort of temporary loss of your
Right.
marbles, but moving to a different country with this person is far more permanent. And I think
Well-
maybe that's what Carla's really got a problem with.
You know, their house almost burned down, but not really. So,
Oh my God! And the balaclava.
and our lives are in danger when, I mean, besides the fact that she's got Ant and Dec and Soap, let's not forget Soap, we've seen no gang involvement
3 youths.
with Becky whatsoever. And 2 of them we know were in Harvey's gang, not this other guy's gang.
No, let's not pick at that scab again.
Oh my God. I'm glad it's over, but I wish it had a better ending.
If we're going to stick with it, at least give us something decent at the end of it. But it feels like the show and the writers treated it with as much disdain as we did. And, you know, according to some interviews, that's maybe not that far from the truth. This was a silly idea. It should never have been pursued. It was. Now, let's never speak of it again, seems to be the approach.
Yes.
All right, we'll move on to our next storyline. Shona not up the duff anymore. On Monday, David's been sitting on this all weekend and is desperate to get the tea on Jodie from Shona. Shona insists that Jodie isn't her sister, it's her half-sister.
Which is the same thing.
There's no way that they're not full siblings, though.
Right, yeah, look at them.
And she comes with some treats for them that David's quite, ooh, hobnobs. I
Yeah.
do like a hobnob. Shona is still reluctant to get into this right now, but Jodie reckons this is the universe telling them something, especially considering that they were in the same crash. David is astounded by this as they swap numbers. And later outside, Jodie's sitting on the bench having a bit of a panic attack after receiving 1 million notifications of texts and missed calls. David checks to make sure that she's okay and then is kind enough to help her back inside for a checkup, after which it is confirmed as a panic attack, which David is quick to put down to the crash. Jodie would rather not talk about it. David asks where she'll go now, and she talks about heading to a hostel for tonight. And then David's like, well, what are you going to do the night after that? And we get the idea that Jodie's a bit of a one night at a time sort of person, but David suggests that she stays in Max's room until she finds somewhere else.
Right. Remember Max? Max is a person who exists, just not here.
Yeah, that's a whole other storyline, Jodie. You really don't want to hear about it now.
No, not now.
Jodie wonders if David should clear this with Shona first, but he's like, nah, she'll be fine. I'll tell her tomorrow. So he takes this complete stranger home to stay with his daughter and his gran and leaves her unattended while he heads back to the hospital. She checks out all the old photos and stuff, but then again, her phone is inundated with notifications. On Wednesday, number 8 has the squeakiest door ever. And it keeps on getting opened.
Yeah.
Squeak! As Bethany and Lily come in, fuck knows where Lily's been. David hears them and thinks it's Jodie, so has to explain to them all about the new member of the family. Then she comes in and pops the kettle on for everyone. Bethany thinks Shona is going to kill David.
Yes.
Because it's clear that Jodie's got her feet under the table. So everyone keeps on saying anyway, but she's only been there for a day
Right, yeah.
and she's making a cuppa.
Yeah.
It's not really that she's lounging about watching TV, scratching herself. you
No,
know what
but
I
she
mean?
will be soon. Maybe not the scratching part.
So David goes to the hospital and is surprised to see Shona getting ready to come home. He explains to her that Jodie is at number 8 and says that she's been making herself at home, which is what he offered her, let's face it. And he tells her about the panic attack. Shona, oddly, takes it reasonably well, thinking that, you know what, this is going to be fine. And they'll maybe get some answers about where she's been and the crash and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
Meanwhile, Nick has likely walked over to number 8 and is shocked to see Jodie open the door and doesn't believe
A complete stranger
that
to him.
she's Shona's sister, although she is standing in a dressing gown, so if she's a burglar, she's not much of one. David and Shona come home to confirm the situation, and when Jodie goes upstairs to get dressed, Shona notices a bruise on her arm. Jodie explains in vague terms about an abusive partner, and the one time she tries to get away, she ends up in Corriedales. This explains the panic attack at the hospital as far as David is concerned, because that's how panic attacks work. Jodie can't report this because her partner's pal is a cop or something like that, so Shona hugs her and tells her that she's safe here. Privately, Shona tells David how guilty she feels about abandoning Jodie when she left home, and she plans to make up for it. She tells Jodie as much, and Jodie does a weird 2-second smile fade, and then secretly destroys a SIM card. I wonder what that was all about.
Yeah, that was weird.
On Thursday, Jodie is making herself useful with a Pop-Tart breakfast for Shona, and the two of them go to see Harper later. And that's,
They act like they're shocked Pop-Tarts are still a thing, which was weird.
I don't remember seeing them in the UK.
Shona's like, I can't believe these still exist. Meanwhile, in America, at football games, and this is true, they put people dressed as Pop-Tarts in a giant toaster.
What?
And the toasters, it's sixed out to toast these Pop-Tart people. And then they don't pop up, but a tray is removed and the Pop-Tarts have been toasted. And then everyone eats the Pop-Tarts.
The sooner this empire falls, the better. So the two of them go to see Harper later, and as they look at the tiny mechanical baby, Shona gets wistful about how much she messed up Clayton and what a terrible mum she was, and she was only 13, so maybe that's no big surprise. And she didn't get any help from her family, which is no big surprise either. I did get some disturbing news about Dr. Harper. Remember Dr. Harper from last week? Mr. Harper.
Oh, that
The
guy,
surgeon.
That guy's name was Harper. That's why they named her Harper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hello!
I was thinking maybe that, To Kill a
There was a
Mockingbird.
toilet bleach or something?
No, that To Kill a Mockingbird was David's favorite novel.
No, named after the doctor who delivered her.
That's right. Okay.
I loved him.
Yeah, he's not going to be back.
No, he's not going to be back.
Was that the disturbing news?
Yeah.
I like that he's not going to be back.
He was great.
I like that he was a one trick and then out. Because if he had stayed, they would have just ruined him.
Oh, they would have ruined it.
He was great. He fulfilled his purpose. Move on. Run as fast as you can.
I thought they gave him far too much to do for just a incidental character. But apparently not. It's unusual to get a bit character that's so well fleshed out.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew that he lived in Bristol.
Yeah.
And this is what a lot of people said to me on social
that's
media.
all we know.
He was in Bristol. He's never going to move to
Wow,
Weatherfield.
why would he move to Weatherfield? He lives in
And
Bristol.
why does anybody move to Weatherfield?
And I'm
And
sure
have you been to Bristol?
And I'm sure his wife has employment in Bristol somewhere. So it's not like they can just pick up their lives and move to Weatherfield. I mean, why would you?
So you can be on Coronation Street.
No, I liked it. I liked that it was a great character who served his purpose, and that's it. Especially after they broke my heart with Swain. We don't want another one of those situations, do we? Plus,
I'm such an optimistic person, though,
Plus,
Helen.
we have so many characters that half the cast doesn't even show up for months on end. So why would we add yet another person to this cast?
I know, and we keep on talking about how bloated the cast list is and how
Right.
they trim it, but when they trim it, they just replace those with new
Right.
characters.
It's gotten to the point where, again, Jude Reardon has to reassure people he's still on the show because he hasn't been on in months.
Oh, don't, because you're
Regardless
making
of
me think about the storyline again. So
yeah,
you're ruining Sam for me.
it's not me who's ruining Sam. It's Kate Brooks who's ruining Sam, and don't you forget it.
Anyway, so Shona was 13 when she had Clayton and worried that she messed him up and is worried that the same thing's going to happen to little Harper. She asks Jodie if she wants kids. Someday, Jodie says maybe if she gets some decent auntie training from Shona. And Shona approves of this. Jodie does another 2-second smile fade.
Yes.
On Friday, at the hospital, while David and Shona are with Harper, alarms start going off and they're all ushered outside. Shona screaming that Harper needs her. No, Harper doesn't need you right now, Shona.
Right, she needs the medical professionals.
Yes, she needs you to leave. Meanwhile, Nick is dropping off a veggie lasagna at number 8 and discovers Lily dogging school. Nick chases her out while Jodie thinks she should give her a pass considering everything. Got many kids yourself, says Nick. And Jodie doesn't respond, which means that she's got hundreds of secret kids.
Right. And also, when he comes with the veggie lasagna, Jodie's like, Shona doesn't like veggie lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick says, yes, she does. She likes mine. And meanwhile, all of us are thinking, you didn't make that, Nick.
No.
Toya made that. Her veggie lasagna is famous.
You can really taste the tofu.
Yes. You can't, but that's all right.
Back at hospital, Harper had low blood pressure due to internal bleeding on the mass on her neck, and she's going to need a transfusion, which sounds very complicated for a baby.
Yes.
David goes home later, interrupting Jodie, who's looking at her kids, I presume, and what do you call it, a cameo pendant thing? The little tiny photographs in the necklace thing.
Were those her kids? I
presume so.
I thought that they were like kid pictures of her and Shona.
Pendant thing has O and P engraved on it. Jodie's favourite consecutive letters of the alphabet, perhaps? Or Oliver and Patricia.
Oh.
Or Olivia and Pedro.
Or Otis and Penelope.
Or other names that begin with O and P.
What are their parents' names?
I don't know.
What is Shona's maiden name?
Ramsey.
Okay, so that's neither an O or a P.
Yeah, I think it's her kids.
She says she doesn't have kids.
Yeah, she's lying.
Well, yeah.
There we go. Glad we got that cleared up. He's upset as he explains the situation to Jodie, and he's starting to cry, and she says, it's all right, you can cry, and he says, well, I'll maybe go and do it in the bath. Crying, that is. She's understanding, maybe too understanding, and announces that she's made him veggie lasagna for tea. Then she does yet another 2-second smile face.
Right, yes.
And that's as far as we get with that this week.
She's just lucky that when Nick stopped by the hospital to see Harper so that Shona and David can tell her about the low blood pressure, that Nick didn't say, oh, by the way, I dropped off a veggie lasagna for you.
Although he would say it properly.
You mean lasagna?
Yes.
Nick doesn't talk like that.
He does when he says lasagna.
He can't. He's crying too much. How does she know that Nick didn't tell them that he dropped off a lasagna? Because that would be really awkward if they're like, no, you didn't make this lasagna.
Because Toya knows. Because Toya speaks about it in a different storyline.
Yeah.
And Toya tells Daniel and Megan about it.
Yeah.
And could easily have been telling somebody else.
Right. It's just a weird thing to lie about, I think. When it could so easily be caught out.
I guess she's trying to make herself useful.
Or
and,
make her seem
needed,
useful.
Without actually doing anything.
Right.
And I get it. Lasagna's a complicated thing to make.
Yeah.
Time consuming.
It is. Even when it's just veggies. The brew alone takes a while to get just right.
What are you making of Jodie then?
The bechamel sauce. I don't know. She's obviously hiding something.
Hiding so much. She's connected to this Emmerdale character. Whose name you had written down last week.
Yeah, not Graham Parson, but Graham something.
Graham Cracker?
Graham Foster. Australian for beer.
I'm so impressed.
I'm just...
Look at you with your Emmerdale knowledge.
I'm just lucky that I still have those notes sitting in front of me.
Right.
Underneath this week's spoiler alert notes.
Yeah, so she's got the connection to him. She's got the fact that she was stuck in a van and
right,
and
but
bound.
That kind of felt like Graham Foster. It was a contract, kidnapping, and possible killing.
So what's that all about then?
Who knows?
Yeah, so, these are the mysteries that are kind of attached to the Jodie character.
Yeah, and it feels like a more interesting mystery than what we've gotten recently.
Is it too much to ask that a new character doesn't have a deep, dark secret? I think we've had this conversation
at least
multiple times.
At least here, they're upfront about it. Mm-hmm. And it's how they're introduced.
Well, by the 2-second smile face, just add to that, I guess. I was wondering because you know that it's like imprinting that the first person that the new character sees, they sort of start to covet almost. And I wondered if...
Do you think this is a single white female situation?
I wouldn't be surprised. She looked like she was getting a little bit too comfy with David.
Yeah.
But she also looked like she was getting a little bit comfy with Nick as well, even though that was a more combative relationship.
That did not feel cozy at all. That felt like she wanted Nick to go away because she can tell she can't pull any bullshit on Nick.
I don't know. I like the
Nick
banter between them was quite
It wasn't
good.
really banter. It was,
Well, to and fro then.
It was,
if you're going to be pernickety about
it
it,
was-
which I sense you are.
when I think of banter, I think it's friendly.
To and
You
fro
can-
then.
Friendly banter. This was not friendly on either side.
There was some joisting between them.
I feel like it kind of felt a little weird how forceful Nick was about who the hell are you and why are you in this robe?
It felt like a fair question.
Right, but you kind of feel like if you open the door and there's someone you don't know who's wearing a robe and your sister-in-law has just had a baby,
I feel
she's obviously not robbing the place because she's wearing a bathrobe.
I feel if you're Jodie in that situation, you don't answer the door, and you probably don't answer the phone either.
Right, yeah. And yet she did. And then she took ownership of the lasagna, which is offensive to Toya's mad culinary skills.
No, Toya says it was Nick that made it.
Does she?
That he was too busy doing that to do anything else at the bistro. I can't imagine Nick making a lasagna.
Especially a veggie lasagna.
Especially if you're in the bistro, you've got a chef that can do that. Get
Right,
a chef
yeah.
to make it for you.
Well, there's also discussion about how good Nick's chef is this week as well. So
Yeah,
Oh, fuck off, Maggie.
that's right. There's something about her. I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to get her claws into David. I hope not, because we've sort of been in stories that are circling this sort of thing before, where there's an illness and then we have infidelity on top of the illness, and it's, let's do something different. We can make her a mysterious character by all means.
right.
I think she's a good character. I'm enjoying her
Yeah,
so far.
yeah, me too.
But let's try and do something new with her, rather than just going after David because she's the first guy that she saw
Who's nice to
outside
her?
of a van
Who's nice to
during
her?
the day.
Who's nice to her? Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to our penultimate storyline.
What?
Yeah, we gave you 2.25 hours last week. We'll give you 45 minutes this week.
Yes.
Is Meet the Driscolls. On Monday,
They're a modern Stone Age family.
have we done this already? It feels like we've had this attempt at singing the Flintstones theme tune. but
Yeah,
with
I don't think it works
No.
much further than
Okay,
that.
we'll
Let's
just stop
just keep
investigating
going,
that then.
yeah.
Okay. On Monday, Ben is angered when he finds Will on the street when he should be at school. Turns out Daniel has given Will detention when it wasn't even him who wrote Mr. Osborne as a fanny on the whiteboard. Ben wants to have a word with Daniel, but Will tells him just to drop it. Meanwhile, Daniel and Megan are getting prepared for Bertie's 7th birthday. How is that boy 7 already?
Well, his mum's been dead for 7 years, so
Well, that checks out. And number 1, they're putting up decorations, and Megan is only too happy to be invited to the family do to celebrate a child's birthday. And she's thrilled to meet Ken, who has a crack at her by all accounts, and she was taken by him, which I wasn't expecting. Daniel tells her about the detention incident and how Will hates him, and she suggests that he's just insecure at a new school and to give it time. Afterwards, Daniel invites her back to his place for red wine and leftover chicken nuggets.
and insinuation.
And if that's a euphemism, I don't want to know what it means. Megan goes off to get some white wine with chicken nuggets. Daniel, you fucking caveman. When she gets a call from an unknown number, and it seems to be an old, possibly young flame, Megan insists that the caller leaves her alone and that whatever they've suggested is a bad idea. And I think this is a question that I had a few weeks ago, that Will isn't the first that she's groomed in this way. And that seems to be what that was about. It doesn't come up again in the rest of the week, but Helen's got some tea for the spoiler alert. Oh, your poker face. So impressive.
This is why we don't do video podcasts. That, and I look terrible in profile.
See, I thought if we were to do it, I'd have a camera back here and there'd be a camera back there.
Oh, and then you'd have more things to edit.
I mean, I complain about it, but
You love to edit.
it's what I was put on this planet to do. You know, everyone has a passion.
Yes.
No, that's how I would set it up.
Yeah.
Or we'd be both on the same side of the desk, which I think is too much.
Terrible. No, we don't want to do that.
No.
The Golden Globes now give a Best Podcast award. And during the awards, they were like showing video of these people, of these celebrities doing their podcasts. And they're like spread out on 3 different chairs in a big, massive room. Or they're, sitting on sofas and stuff. And I'm like, don't give those people a Golden Globe. Give their sound editors a Golden Globe, because what the heck? That is no way to record audio. What is wrong with you people? Oh, you much rather be cozy on a couch than get good sound so that your sound editor doesn't have to work for 12 hours to make you sound normal? What is wrong with you people?
You're surprisingly passionate about this.
It kind of annoys me, and celebrity podcasts already kind of annoy me. Because it's like...
This is our domain, damn it.
Right, yeah. Podcasts are for and from the people, not celebrities. I mean, are there some podcasts that I listen to that have celebrities in them? Yes.
Adam Buxton.
Brett Goldstein. Rhys Darby. That's it.
I like the comedy ones. I like the off-menu, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And not just... I have a podcast now because I'm a celebrity and I'm going to talk to other celebrities on my podcast.
It'll never work. Talk about Coronation Street instead.
Yes.
It's much more fun.
It is.
And the reason that we don't record video for this is that if we did, I'd have to make sure that my dinner isn't down my t-shirt before we started to record.
Oh, you're so self-deprecating. We all know if anybody's going to be wearing their dinner, it's going to be me. And also we'd have to clean this desk a wee bit. Like all the papers here.
Tax returns.
SpongeBob can stay.
Yeah.
And the mighty box of pens.
You've got to have a box of pens on your desk.
Mighty.
Is it really a desk if you don't have a box of pens in it?
Yeah. And also our Seal My Fridge beer cozies.
My Seal My Fridge mouse mat's getting quite a lot of use though.
Yes.
On Wednesday, Megan has been buying small boxes from Devs. I wonder what that could be when she runs into Ken, who invites her officially to Bernie's birthday. And this is seen by a scowling Will. And it's hard to tell when Will is scowling because he scowls so much.
All the time.
Megan runs after him and he accuses her of sleeping with Daniel. She says she slept on the sofa. Her Hull accent is very strong this week. Has it always been like that? The coach. I'm his coach.
No, I don't think it's been that strong before now.
She slept on the sofa and is feeling rough as fuck, so isn't in the mood to spend any time with him today. At Bertie's party, Alia asks Bertie to fetch some candles out of her bag, but the idiot child goes to Megan's bag instead and pulls out a lovely pregnancy test.
Don't call him an idiot child. He's a member of the smartest family on the street.
Daniel visibly shits his unders at this.
Yay.
Megan says it's not hers, but it's nice to know how he really feels about them.
Right.
Which is a fucking ridiculous thing to say, isn't it?
Well, I don't know.
Well, even for Daniel, settling down as a family after a month of knowing someone is a little quick.
Right, yeah. No, I get that, but you don't have to say it with your face. 'Cause nobody wants to see that face. Daniel shitting himself face.
He was...
he doesn't say anything.
Right.
He just makes a face.
He looks surprised.
Right, which you would look surprised, but he looks kind of surprised and like, oh my God, I don't want this.
I'm not one to back Daniel.
No.
I don't think that Megan's reaction was normal.
Are you...
But
Are you saying...
How many times have I been in that situation to determine what's a normal reaction to this sort of thing?
Right.
Emotions are high, I guess.
Right, yes. Or are you just feeling this way because she's a pedophile?
That's probably not helping.
No.
There are very few situations where being a pedophile is an improvement.
I can't think of any.
No. So, Alia chases after Megan, who is mortified and shocked by Daniel's natural reaction. She says the test was for a pupil, which, if anything, is worse. Alia explains how Daniel is a bit messed up after spending a year pinballing between Daisy and Bethany, and how Daisy faked a pregnancy and then stole a bunch of money from Carla, and then how that left Jenny with nothing to do, so she fucked off to France, and that left the Rovers with nobody, so it was eventually bought by Ben and his mum, and that explains why Megan has just stormed out of a child's birthday party after said child found her pregnancy kit. It's all tangential. At the pub later, Megan has calmed a bit and she and Daniel talk about earlier. He apologises for his reaction and she concedes that they've only been seeing each other for 5 minutes and maybe next time will be less of a shock. She nips off for a shite, sees Will scowling behind the bar and promises to explain later. But later at the bar, Will overhears Daniel and Adam chatting about the pregnancy scare and how Daniel's shagging Megan 6 ways to Sunday these days.
Yeah.
Will is fucking furious.
Yeah.
Which Megan notices.
Right.
On Thursday, Daniel is shocked to find that someone has spray painted an enormous cock and balls on the side of Ken's car. Gary is impressed with the craftsmanship, particularly around the hairy testicles.
Yes. And I am so disappointed that they could have just showed the tip.
You just see a little bit of the car and you don't see any of the
Right. It's on
the
the side.
shaft or anything.
Right.
You could show the shaft and it wouldn't be offensive.
Right. I don't think you could show any of the balls,
It's
though.
not offensive until you see the balls or crown.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Gary, we're supposed to believe, rather than saying testicles out loud, whistles. He's got the hairs on it, which was funny, let's face it.
It was.
But Gary
would say balls.
he would say balls.
I'm just shocked that the show allowed a character to say the word abortion this week instead of a termination.
Mm-hmm.
So, baby steps. Someday on the street, a character will be allowed to say the word balls.
I'm sure they've sailed closer to the wind than this. And when it's played for comedy, I think you get
And
away
also,
with it.
it's kind of weird to have Gary do it. Mary, I would understand. Gary, that man is not ashamed to say balls.
Right?
That man is not ashamed of his balls. And it's delicate ginger hair. The light sprinkling
I'm going to say
along the testicles.
I'm going to say enough.
Looking like a holiday pie.
Fiery, like his passion. Anyway, enough of Gary's pubic hair. Well, Driscoll! Screams Daniel to the heavens, noticing for the first time how awkward it is that Will's first and last names both end in double L's. Later, Will has been
What were his
suspended.
parents thinking? Because Ollie basically almost ends in 2 L's as well.
Yeah, it does.
Of course, he's probably really Oliver, right?
I don't know, these days you could, I think, expect someone to be christened Ollie.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised by that, considering I once had uncles Billy and Jimmy, and it said Billy and Jimmy on their respective birth certificates. So I just don't
Yeah, the
expect
names-
it
the names-
outside of the deep south.
The names William and James didn't reach the colonies until much later. Later, Will has been suspended with spray paint found in his locker. He protests his innocence, which Maggie believes, and explains that he's going to miss an important athletics championship and wants Ben to have a word with Daniel. Privately, Maggie knows Will did it and reminds him that after the stunt he pulled at Christmas where he twatted Daniel over the head, maybe he should keep a low profile from now on. In Nina's roles, Daniel's explaining about the enormous cock and balls that Will painted on Ken's car to Rita, Ken, and Megan. The idea of the conversation that happened before we get to see it, as he explains to Rita about the enormous cock that's been drawn on Ken's car,
And Rita says, I've seen bigger.
made me chuckle. I bet she has. They called her the Nightingale of Weatherfield, not the Swallow, I guess.
That'd be Audrey?
And that was the joke of the week. Ben comes in and pleads for leniency for Will, who has an athletics meet or something. Go fuck yourself and your prick of a son, says Daniel.
Right, and Ben's like, well, he says that somebody else put it in his locker. In an Irish accent.
I'll make sure that he apologises.
Right, yeah. And,
oh, great.
And Daniel says, have you checked his hands? Because there was paint on his hands. Mm-hmm. And then Ben's like, all right, fine, he did it, but can you still, like, go easy on him? Because he's got to run a race. What is he going to do if he can't run a race? I just... The audacity of this bitch.
Yes.
The audacity. This is why Will is the way he is. This is why he's so churlish, and also why he would get into an uncomfortable pedophilic relationship with a teacher. Because he gets away with everything with his parents.
Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't get away with it from Ben, then he does with Maggie, certainly. But then Megan says that the meet really is super important and will reflect badly on her if Will isn't allowed to compete because he spray painted an enormous cock and balls on Ken's car.
Oh no, he can't run the race because it will reflect badly on me. Because I'm not really Megan, I'm Adam Sandler circa 1997.
It's not as good as your Patrick Star.
That's true.
Says Daniel, who realises this is going to affect whether or not he's going to get his hole with Megan ever again, and he has a cardigan on back order for her as well. Megan goes off to shout at Will, but Will's got some shouting of his own to do considering that she's fucking Daniel Osborne, and this was never the plan, to fuck his nemesis. Megan says that she doesn't enjoy it, which checks out.
And she thinks of him while she's doing it, which is disgusting.
And she's thinking of Will and his awful hair when... Daniel's inside her. But the best way to keep her relationship with him secret is to have a sexual relationship with someone he hates.
Yeah.
How this checks out at all is beyond me. And, you know, when I said at the start, there's things that just don't make sense here.
Right.
That she's somehow sold this to him, who's a child, so maybe that's why it's acceptable. That for me to continue fucking you, I've got to fuck this guy as well.
Right. Because I won't go to jail for fucking that guy. I will go to jail for fucking you.
Mm-hmm. But, well, all right, okay.
But he's not really all right, okay.
Well, he is, because he's smiling by the end of it, because Daniel apparently has agreed to go and speak to Mrs. Crawshaw.
Right.
To get the suspension rescinded.
Right.
So he can run after all. And his silly little race.
You get to win my little race.
Later, Megan is making an appointment to get an abortion. On Friday, in Nina's roles, Eva Cakes, Mary, Leanne and Megan are chatting when Eva gets a photo of Will as a baby sent from Ben. He was almost entirely hair as a baby. Megan's uncomfortable about this and then gets an appointment confirmation on her phone that Leanne sees. When conversation turns to Billy and the fragility of life, Megan makes her excuses and leaves. Later, she runs into Daniel. Daniel knows that Megan's got a day off. She's a teacher at a school for about a month, so I'm sure this happens all the time.
Right.
But he needs to get his dad to the dentist, so asks Megan to walk Bertie to school, and he needs her to make a decision right now. So she agrees and walks the boy past the pub where Will mocks her for being lumbered with her boyfriend Sprague. Eva and Leanne find her in the community garden later, clearly upset. Leanne reveals she knows Megan is pregnant because she saw the appointment thing. Megan admits it, says that she's getting rid of it, but is upset because she has a condition that makes natural pregnancy tough. Leanne knows all about this and tells her about Oliver. Eva thinks that she should speak to Daniel, but Megan doesn't think Daniel is remotely interested in another baby.
And it's funny because Leanne ends with, and he's dead now. It's like, how is this helpful?
Yep.
You're trying to talk her into having a baby when your baby died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The abortion will go ahead as planned, says Megan. Leanne makes a last attempt to talk her out of it at the clinic, but to no avail. During all this, Eva Cakes is complaining to Leanne about Maggie, so Leanne suggests that she buys Maggie out, but Eva doesn't have the money. Later, when Leanne announces that after all the Megan stuff and the chat of Oliver, She wonders why she's still hanging around Weatherfield and thinks maybe it's time to sell her share in Speed Dial and go off and see the world. Or, says Eva, sell her share and she could buy out Maggie. Because Maggie fucking hates running this pub, apparently. Which
I don't
think
so.
we've seen any evidence of.
No.
Maggie, if anything, loves lording it over Eva.
She does it for spite to Eva, but I think she also just loves running a pub and talking to people and selling them booze.
And isn't that what she said to Daniel a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
That's why she does this, is that she loves running pubs.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where Eva's getting this from, but...
Yeah, and I don't think... It feels like Eva is suggesting something that would never happen because Maggie gets so much satisfaction from being there.
Yeah, and rubbing her nose in it. But Eva and Leanne running the Rovers just think, and Leanne looks tempted. In the pub, Will needs clean socks for his training session with Megan. But
not like that.
But Leanne and Eva think it's unlikely that Megan will be in the mood for that today, and it's unclear whether Will's hair prevents his brain from putting two and two together here, but I think he might. She's out with Daniel during this, not thinking about training, and she dingies a call from Will as Daniel explains how he thinks Megan would make a great mum after successfully walking his child to school earlier. And that's as far as we get with that this week. Yeah, that bit in the Ginnell where Megan's talking to Will about matters of a sexual nature was awful.
It was. The whole, when I'm with him, I think of you.
And then it cuts to his glaikit face.
Right.
Looking churlish at her.
Right.
I'm sure. I'm confused about how the show seemingly makes us want to feel sympathetic towards Megan at times.
Right, yeah.
And then they just turn that on its head with the grooming aspect of it.
Right.
Because, she's got this condition, she finds it hard to get pregnant, and...
I'm just glad that she's had the termination because I was dreading the idea of another, let's find out what the baby looks like. And then we'll find out.
From the people who brought you Let's Run a Race.
Who the daddy is. Is it the mixed race baby? Or is it the white baby? Mm-hmm. So I'm glad we're not getting that.
Yeah, because we saw her go off. It's happened.
Right.
She's no longer pregnant.
Correct. And I'm glad that happened. We've been down that road. We don't want to go down it again.
Mm-hmm. But the problem with this is we have two unsympathetic characters involved in this illicit relationship. And we don't root for anybody in it, but we want it to be over. Whereas we should be rooting, I think, for Will to be out of this and done with this, as we were rooting for Addie to get out of the Courtney Boobs thing.
But we love Addie. Mm-hmm. We don't love Will.
We don't know him, but nothing about him is lovable.
Right, yeah. And that's the problem. There's that aspect of it. And yes, she's had the abortion, but the thing that I hate the most about this is that it makes Ben unlikable. Because I like Ben.
I like Ben
I think
as well.
Ben is a great guy and a great character. But when he's trying to convince Daniel to go easy on his kid because he's got a race, mm-hmm. I mean, we have been amongst those parents, haven't we?
I can picture them right now.
Yes.
They don't talk to us. When
we see a character acting like people we don't like, mm-hmm. it makes me like the character less. Yeah, and I don't want that to happen because Ben is a great character.
Ben's reaction to this is, sucks to be you then.
Yeah.
Then you shouldn't have done this. But he's bullied into it by his mum. And again, that isn't a great look for Ben either.
Right. And but he's also very quick to say, oh, well, if somebody else put it in your locker, then I guess you didn't do it. Which is why Daniel has to tell him, look, he had paint on his hands. Hmm. And to his credit, that does shut Ben up. But then Ben's like, yeah, okay, fine, he did it. But can you just go easy on him because of the stupid race? Doesn't even offer to pay to clean or repaint Ken's car.
Yeah, nobody's thinking about Ken and all this.
Yeah, there's no... It's like, I'll get him to say sorry, which he won't mean. Mm-hmm. But I won't do anything to help end this.
There was some murmurings of getting Will to clean it off, which It's probably never going to happen either.
No.
Or he's going to do a dreadful job of it.
Yeah, Ken's got to take that to get redetailed all the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's not coming off, especially if it's black paint, because you can't even really cover that up too much. You'd have to get the whole car.
Is Ken looking at this and thinking, "Oh, to be young"?
No,
he was actually kind of furious about the whole thing.
He was very upset about this, and he seemed to be upset at Daniel about it. It's like, it's not my fault. Your car was parked there, sort of near where Megan is staying, I guess.
I'm surprised that Ken still got a car.
Right, yeah.
I don't like this.
Really want to think of Ken driving, do you?
Normally when someone who hates Daniel as much as I do has this vendetta against him, I'm normally 100% behind that.
Except, of course, when it's Max putting roofies in his drink. The other things Max did to Daniel were fantastic. That, significantly less so.
Max continuing to hate Daniel long after all that was done was a joy to behold. And this should be a joy as well, but the whole grooming aspect of it is just spoiling the enjoyment that I can take from this. So I'm not impressed.
Megan's abortion is going to come out one way or the other.
Right.
And...
yeah, because I think Will has an inkling that this is perhaps something, or the reason why Megan is unfit for training is something pregnancy related. He maybe doesn't know exactly that it's an abortion. Maybe thinks that she is pregnant.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing. Let's not forget Maggie's reaction to Eva's abortion. And Will has been grown up in that very Irish Catholic family. Mm-hmm. It feels like if he's going to blow this whole thing in possibly a public situation, it's going to be because of that. Because remember, he did already say, "Oh, I'll take care of you. I'll do the right thing." Mm-hmm. Because he's a child. He's a child who has romanticized this whole thing. And, I don't know, thinks that he's in Coronation Street circa 1984.
I don't know, there's parts of this that I liked. I liked Eva this week. I thought she was really good.
Yes.
Her little baby noises when she was talking about Will were hilarious. With little chubby cheeks. Yeah. And Gary obviously was wonderful as he admires the
penis.
The artwork on the
it's
car.
A penis.
So it needs more things to lighten this story because it's really grim going for quite a lot of it.
And the thing that I enjoyed the most about Eva showing the baby picture is how visibly uncomfortable it made Megan.
Yeah.
Because it's like shoving in her face, "You're having sex with this wee baby." Mm-hmm. And all of us women here at the table are making goo-goo noises at pictures of the guy you're shagging as a baby.
And on that bombshell, let's go on to our final storyline tonight. Sucks to be a Webster or Billy. On Monday, Ryan takes his concerns about the hotel books to Debbie, who doesn't believe him, and a very dismissive Carl appears and explains he just hasn't got round to updating the budget. What with everything. Mm-hmm. Ryan isn't convinced, but Debbie is satisfied, although privately she quizzes Carl, who insists that he doesn't have his fingers in the till again. Then Kev comes along and is disappointed that Debbie has chosen to believe Carl, who he believes to be the Antichrist, and that she's going to plead guilty. She screams at him to shut his fucking yapper and warns him not to make her choose between the two of them, and Kev is stunned by this. On Wednesday, Ronnie gets a visit from Michael and he's worried that Debbie is going to plead guilty despite all the advice that she gets from Adam and everyone else, and he's not ready to lose her.
Except for Carl.
Right. Kevin goes to see Debbie later and waves a white flag, but then immediately gets stuck into Carl again, calling him a wrong'un, so Debbie has to get Ronnie to throw him out. Later, Ronnie makes another plea for Debbie to plead not guilty, but Debbie says she won't be bullied into making a decision that she doesn't want to make. And Ronnie calls Kevin Keving. On Thursday, Debbie is looking through a trinket box and is interrupted by Carl, who's up early. He doesn't waste much time gently encouraging her to plead guilty, as she'll get a more lenient sentence and will avoid a trial, and it'll prove that she's remorseful. She says that Ronnie and Adam think not guilty means that they can challenge the medical report.
And maybe get pictures of those bruises to show that she was obviously not on the passenger side or on the driver's side. And also maybe look into the fact that whoever was driving that car was not the cause of the accident and was not the cause of the death of Billy. If anything, every single person that was awake and aware, like Steve and Cassie and Tracy, are responsible for Billy's death because none of them checked to make sure everybody was out of the minibus.
Or make anybody else aware that there's somebody still there. Right. Because if they don't rescue them, fine, but maybe make sure that someone does.
Right. Make sure that... count heads. Do something. Because those are the people who murdered Billy.
I think Theo is the one that murdered Billy.
Well, yes.
But...
In the long run, yes. But, nobody but us knows that.
I'm not sure that...
But just for Debbie to be on trial for this, when the bus had already overturned and was already on fire.
There was startings of a flame. I think if Carol's car hadn't crashed into the bus, Billy would still be dead.
Yeah.
And I get that...
Because there was a gas leak already before it got hit.
The drink driving aspect of it is being played as being super important and agreed. Drink driving is
bad.
Is, I think, universally despised. And yet the two of them were driving, and you've got to remember, she wasn't driving.
No.
Carl was driving, and he was absolutely hoored out of his tits on the
Yes.
champagne.
Yes.
And maybe that's obviously slowed his reactions and what have you. But the accident had already happened.
Yeah.
The bus was already on its side.
Right.
Billy was, unless somebody gets him out of there, is in a very precarious position.
Right. I still don't understand how he couldn't get himself out of there when he was fully conscious the whole time.
The show just
And it
wanted
didn't
Billy
look-
dead.
Right.
That's
yeah.
it. They just want him dead.
And they want to pin it on Debbie for no reason except for drama.
Because she's the one with dementia.
Right.
So
And
we'll
she's
pin it-
also the secret.
It's just every time that it's mentioned and every time someone is outraged at, in inverted commas, Debbie killing Billy. Have we been gaslit here? No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
And neither did Carol.
No.
It's almost like we're being forced into believing that this thing that we can say about the brightness, it was difficult to follow.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that the further accident that happened after the minibus was already on its side, it didn't help matters, but I don't know that it made them all that worse.
Right. Exactly.
So
It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's just because they want to have the, oh no.
well, not that voice again.
This is a different one.
Oh.
Oh no. Debbie's got dementia. She can't go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how much time she has left.
Right.
Yeah, so can you maybe knock it off and leave this poor woman alone for the time that we have left with her? It makes me angry just because of how ridiculous and unrealistic
I mean,
it
we're
is.
throwing everything at the Websters, and we have been for a while, but I think there's enough going on here with Billy's death and Theo's
Involvement
in it and the guilt that he seems to feel every now and again.
Well, he's also still...
Well, clearly, but I think he's finding this difficult to live with, which is what makes him do some of the things that he does this week.
Right.
But that's quite a lot to be going on with.
Yeah.
The Debbie aspect of it, when the show has given us the bruises,
Right.
the fact that
we saw who was driving that car.
the fact that Sue Devaney is literally 4'11",
Yeah.
and there's no way that could she be driving that car with the seat in that
with the seat in
position.
that position.
And I would.
And
I don't want a forensic examination of this, but there are certain thresholds that have to be passed for this to work and for us to accept it.
Right.
And it feels like we're being we're being tested on how little of that can be satisfied for this to work.
Right.
And I don't know.
Yeah, and just the way that she was kind of staged by Carl. You know, she's unconscious and her feet are out. The door's open and her feet are kind of out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that woman wasn't driving, because if she's been knocked unconscious, she didn't move her feet outside the car and open her car door.
And the passenger side door is shut because nobody left through the passenger door.
Right.
So Carl got out the car and closed the door. Why would you have done that? Everything about this looks staged.
Right.
And anybody looking at it would say, well, this is rather peculiar.
Yeah. It's like,
Let's have a look at their bruises, shall we?
right, yeah. Were the bruises not part of the medical record?
When we were attending to Carl and his heart attack, did nobody look at his chest and say, oh, well, he's got bruises on that side of his shoulder. That's interesting. I don't know. Feels we're being asked to ignore some very obvious things, I
Yes.
guess is the point. So Carl says that he's sorry for letting her drive, and she says that's on her. And it seems at this point that they both know that they're lying to each other,
Right.
but they don't admit it out
No.
loud. Bernie comes to see Debbie, which takes Debbie's breath away a bit. Bernie knows it was just an accident, and in keeping with her character's ability to know what dead people would want, explains that Billy would want her to plead not guilty. Carl bites his tongue. Meanwhile, Summer drops in to see Todd and delivers a photo of Billy in which he's doing an impression of a bearded Wallace from Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah. Like, when they showed this picture on Instagram, so many people were like, oh, that's such a lovely picture of Billy. And I'm looking at it saying, is it? He looks like he was caught by surprise by the camera. He's got the dorkiest look on his face.
Yeah, seemingly this was Paul's favourite, presumably because it made him laugh.
Right, yes.
Summer is still having a hard time with all this, which Theo finds very difficult to deal with. Summer thinks Todd is brave for doing the eulogy, but Todd thinks he owes it to dead Billy. Later, Todd reads out the eulogy that he's written so far to Theo to see what he thinks, but he barely gets into it when Theo interrupts and thinks that Todd shouldn't be doing this, if only to make himself less guilty about blaming himself for killing Billy, and thinks that
When he didn't kill Billy.
and thinks that he won't be capable, and maybe Summer would be better doing it. It was like, Jesus Christ, have you seen Summer lately?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Summer doing this?
No.
Oh my God.
Oh, God, Theo, read the room. If you're going to gaslight Todd into thinking that he's responsible for Billy's death, at least say, like, Bernie
He
or
does,
something.
and he does say Bernie.
Eventually.
Todd's shocked at this, insists that he will be doing the eulogy, and he goes off for a drive on his own to collect his thoughts. After he hears a news report about Debbie getting charged with Billy's death, he screams in the driver's seat, pretty much like Joel did that time. Remember that time? Remember that time Joel screamed in the driver's seat?
Yes.
Good times.
Good times.
It's court time now.
Everybody needs a wee scream every once in a while.
It's court time, and after being asked how she pleads, Debbie says that she pleads guilty. Oh, for fuck's sake, says Kev. And he immediately
And
blames...
Ronnie and Adam.
He immediately blames Carl for this. Adam explains that this is going to be a fucking nightmare because the judge that they've got really liked Billy, so she's likely to get a custodial sentence. They can still get an assessment as a mitigating factor, though. Debbie says that she'll get what she deserves and puts her faith in Adam.
Well, Adam's the one telling you to get a medical assessment, and Adam is the one who told you to plead not guilty.
Back home, Carl thinks Debbie did the right thing, and Debbie admits how scared she is and makes Carl promise that he won't run away to Germany. A promise that I
Wow.
would say is worthless.
Yep.
Later, Debbie's back in her trinket box, looks at a photo of Carl, and then looks
And
at
Debbie.
a maternity unit wristband,
Baby wristband.
a German maternity unit wristband with her and Carl's name on it, and she gently sobs. So finally,
Yeah, the thing
There's
that
a-
we all knew.
there's the confirmation though that Debbie is Carl's mum
Yes.
after all.
Right. And this is why his other mom hated him, because she was chained to this child that she didn't want and didn't give birth to.
This does open up so many questions about. It's almost like if we don't say it, it won't happen. But I kind of feel a German flashback episode coming on.
Do you think they have the budget to shoot in Germany?
No, they'll shoot in Weatherfield, but they'll just paint everything
Do
grey, I
they
guess.
have something like Frankenmuth that they could go film in and say, "Oh yes, this is Germany. There's a charming Bavarian village somewhere in England."
It would be difficult to imagine it surviving, I don't know, the early parts of the 20th century if there was one. For reasons that I'm not sure
Maybe
of.
it was built after, World War II.
No, I think they can probably do something. 'Cause it's all going to be in a hospital anyway. They'll use the Turkish hospital set
Oh
that
yes,
they had
that's
for
right.
Bethany,
They had the Turkish, yeah.
where things were brown. Remember
Right,
the
yes.
hospital where things were brown?
Right, and everybody spoke perfect English.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Only
Because
this
there's so
one,
many
maybe they'll shoot
questions.
for a German accent.
I'm interested that it happened in Germany, and obviously it makes sense with obviously Carl being born there, but for some reason I think Carl being born there and Debbie being there at the time strikes me as being unusual, but clearly she has to be. But I think there's a story there of how this possibly happened
Right.
and who the dad is.
Medallion, when a man and a woman love each other
Very
very
much.
much
They do a special dance.
on their backs. I don't know. I can't remember the name that's been bandied around on Instagram. I know there were some horrible speculations that she'd been raped by her dad, which I don't think is true. I don't know. Was her dad a good guy?
Yeah. Bill
Yeah.
was a good guy.
Yeah. I get that impression that
Salt of the earth sort of guy.
it wasn't their dad that they didn't like, that it was a stepmom.
No, and they went back for his funeral,
Yeah.
which they wouldn't have done if he was a cad.
A terrible person. Trying to remember. Because, there was speculation that it was somebody from the street. And then, of course, that's logistically weird. But it would have to be somebody from the street, right?
It gets the engagement
Right.
if it's
Yeah.
somebody that we don't know. Then
And it's
again, how do we
obviously-
care about it? But the show has been very accepting of characters we don't know doing very big things and expecting us to care about it.
Right, yeah. It's obviously somebody who's no longer on the street.
Right.
Unless it's Ken.
Oh,
Or Brian. I think those are the only two available men who would have been of an age to impregnate Debbie at that time, because he was born in 86.
yeah. So I don't think my go-to of nominating Peter for this checks out.
No,
He was busy knocking up Maggie in Ireland at the time.
right? Supposedly, allegedly. It's so funny though, because there are genuinely people are online who are like, "Oh, I had no idea. This is so shocking."
Well, a lot of people don't go online to look these things up.
Yeah, but they watch the show.
It was clear.
It was so clear just from watching the show.
As soon as Debbie started backing up everything that Carol said,
Yeah.
disagreeing with everything that Kev said,
Right.
it became obvious, and it became very obvious over the last sort of week or two.
Yes.
But I don't think I hate this as much as I thought it was going to. And I think I don't hate it as much as I thought it was going to because Sue Devaney sold it so well.
Yes.
And the trinket box is such a nice little idea for that, the little keepsakes and stuff.
Right, and the fact that she had tucked that into the lining. Mm-hmm. So it's
Kinda
like a
hid it
box.
away.
There's a box of photos with a pink satin lining, and she had tucked that into the lining so nobody but she would know.
Yeah, it's a secret box inside a secret box.
Yeah.
That's quite poetic, isn't it? I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't hate it either.
They made such a big deal about her
It
being
didn't-
childless, though, and focusing on business and her career and,
Right.
and all this stuff. And there's maybe a little bit of me that is, there is no way Debbie is keeping this secret for 40 years.
No, I think of everybody on the street. Debbie is the only one who could have kept that secret for 40 years.
Really?
And I think it's especially easy if you leave baby Carl in Germany with your parents. And then you go back to Weatherfield.
I suppose. I mean, I just imagine it eating her up so much.
She's a very strong woman, Gav.
Oh, such a strong woman. So very strong.
And she seems like the only person there who's got the willpower to be like, no, I'm not going to talk about this to anybody ever. But it's also funny, like, she's such good friends with Bernie. If she was going to confess to anyone, it probably would have been Bernie when Kit showed up.
Maybe that's still going to happen.
Maybe. Because it will come out now that we know it.
Right. If it was anybody other than Debbie, and it was anybody other than Sue Devaney, I'm not sure this fairly retro, or was it re-ret? No,
Retconned?
you retcon. This retcon might not work as well. But yeah, I think they get away with it. I'm interested in it. It
I do
explains
too.
a lot. It's curious, though, that Carl doesn't suspect anything. Because surely at least part of him is thinking, why is she going along with this?
You seem to forget that Carl is a narcissist.
Well, true.
So he thinks everybody should be on his side.
There is not
don't
a
think he
single
really
iota
thinks-
of
I
his
don't-
being that wonders why Debbie is prepared to go to jail for him
No.
when she has dementia.
If anything, I'd be concerned that she's doing it out of the dementia.
Yeah, he doesn't
But then
care either
again,
way.
he likes to use her dementia for his own purposes. We've already
There
seen
was-
him do that.
Have we had it? We've had it, right. We've had the moment where he lets his guard down and he seems genuinely sorry, just for a second,
Very
and then it goes
briefly.
away.
Yeah. He doesn't
There's
give
a
a
human
fuck.
in there somewhere, but
No, there's
hidden
not.
down, hidden very, very low down.
No.
On Friday, Summer and Todd are walking down the street when the black ambulance goes by, delivering the cadaver of one William Mayhew to the care of Shuttleworth's undertakers. Seeing this really affects Summer, who is already an emotional mess. Meanwhile, Debbie is taking care of her affairs and makes Ronnie promise to take care of Carl if she gets sent down, and Ronnie reluctantly agrees after saying, well, Carl can take care of himself. In Dev's, Asha is talking to Mary about going back into paramedic training, and that's nice, isn't it, Helen?
Yes, but not until September.
And they talk about the accident, but they clam up when Ronnie comes in. He overhears and snaps, saying Debbie was drunk driving and someone died. That's it. It was supposed to be the happiest day of their lives. Ed appears and drags Ronnie off to the pub, where he advises Ronnie to be there for Debbie, who will be feeling worse than him. Summer comes into Dev's to speak to Asha, and she's in a bit of a state after seeing Billy's body and reading to him. And this is all the fault of that fucking bitch, Debbie Webster, who
So-
killed Billy, says Summer.
So she did see the body.
I don't think she saw the body. I think the body's in the coffin.
You said that she saw his body and
I
read to
say,
him.
I say a lot of things, Helen.
Yeah, but we had the conversation before we started recording because she, you know, at the end of this episode, she says she wants to go
Would
see
you
Billy
rather
one
that
more
I
time.
said she saw his coffin?
Yes.
But that's not what she's going to see.
That's-
She's not sitting with Billy's coffin. She doesn't think, well, here I am sitting with Billy's coffin. She thinks, here I am sitting with Billy.
Right. But she didn't see the body
No, I don't think so.
because, again, Billy is now
Billy
Operoo.
exploded. Yeah. Billy blew up. There's bits of Billy in that coffin.
Yeah.
There's not a full Billy in that coffin.
No.
I don't think.
No. And nobody should ever let Summer see a body like that, especially if it's her dad.
No, but she's just sitting there reading to him, and that's it.
Yeah.
But this is that fucking bitch, Debbie Webster. Later, Todd is with Summer on Maxine's bench, and she's talking about going to see him again, and Todd's like, I don't think this is a great idea because you didn't really handle it fantastically the first time.
Right.
While Ronnie and Debbie walk by, making a joke about getting their hole in the red wreck, and this infuriates Summer, who confronts Debbie and then slaps her jaw, screaming that she murdered her dad. Todd pulls her off,
But not like that.
while Ronnie says that he thinks this is unfair, but Debbie, nursing her jaw, says that she deserves this, and Summer is right. And that's how we end this week's episodes.
Yeah. That was the fakest slap I've ever seen in my life.
It misses by a considerable amount.
They didn't even put this sound effect in.
They did. There was a slapping sound effect.
Was there? Because it must have just been like barely there.
There,
Because
there was a fighter ranger in the credits, which made me chuckle. But I thought this was great. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this. I think Summer's doing a fantastic job here. I'm really enjoying...
well, except for
some-
the fact that Debbie didn't kill
Sure.
Billy, And even if she had been driving, she didn't kill Billy.
But if there's anybody on this planet who I'm going to give the latitude to thinking that, it's probably Summer. Because it's her dad, and she's allowed to think whatever she wants to think, because it's her dad. But the way that she's been acting, you know, so deep into her grief here, I think is a great job. I think it's very compelling.
I think it's very good, because at least with Paul, she had time to accept that he was going to die. Mm-hmm. She was able to work out her grief more or less before he died. And
plus she fucked off to America.
Right. So that feels so much different than Billy goes to a wedding and dies.
Right.
You know, and I mean, I think if Paul hadn't died so recently, and she wasn't still probably having some feelings about the fact that Paul is dead, I think she would be handling this a little better. But I'm still, it still just kind of annoys me because of the fact that it wasn't Debbie or Carl's fault.
Right.
And it's ridiculous that it's kind of been thrown on them because...
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
But I think we're allowed things to not make sense when you're in the depths of grief. And there's this great shot after Summer has slapped her and Todd's pulled her off. And Summer is walking towards the camera and she's massaging her temples. Because I think none of this feels real to her. And it felt like such a real emotion. And it felt so authentic. And in the background and slightly out of focus, you've got everybody else that's just sort of watching her wander away while Ronnie says, well, that wasn't fair. But it's a great shot. And it's a great bit from Harriet Bibby, just absolutely lost in her grief.
Yes. Oh my God. What's she going to be like when she finds out that no, actually Theo murdered Billy? I hope they don't drag that out too much.
Yeah, I think it's got some ways to go.
But not too much.
But I think there's an ending in sight apparently. So,
yeah.
So that's something to look forward to.
Because let's not forget, people hate Theo just as much as they hated Becky. So...
Yeah, more so, really, I think.
Give the people what they want. Isn't it weird that the most hated character on the street isn't the pedophile?
Wow. We've come away as a society, I guess, haven't we? Oh, jeez.
That's one way to put it. I mean, we have one in the White House, so I guess we can have one on Coronation
in the podcast.
Street.
No politics, please.
Not politics, it's just the truth.
I'm glad that Asha's doing her paramedic stuff again. It's handy to have, as we proved, someone who knows what they're doing in these sort of situations.
Right. It is a little frustrating that we have to wait until September for it.
But she's going to be doing some other stuff, some volunteering stuff that's going to help in the meantime, so that's nice.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think we've really talked about that pretty much as we were going through it. So that was the week that was Coronation Street then. Helen, tell me, what was your moment of the week?
Oh, dear. I kind of like Nick and Jodie fighting.
Oh, really? More so than Gary appreciating an enormous penis?
No, you're right. That is moment of the week.
It was so funny. Wasn't it?
It was.
It was childish, but it was childish and funny.
Right. I mean, the only problem is we don't get to see it.
But we did get to see the two of them, Daniel and Gary, with their arms folded, admiring this enormous penis that's been drawn on Ken's car with hairy testicles.
Compliments to the testicles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Can you think of something better?
No,
because I honestly can't.
No, I really enjoyed that. That was good fun.
Or maybe Betsy.
Oh,
Betsy talking to Becky.
Oh, so close. I was so
to
close to hit the button. And when I hit the button, that commits it.
Right, yes.
There's no going back after that.
No, it's Betsy reading the rights to Becky. We're mature adults.
So close to our penis, but never mind.
Moment of the week.
I'm surprised we haven't given it to a penis before.
Daniel's number one moment of the week. Anyhow, your boring moment of the week.
Gosh, we had we had Ken and Daniel in this week. What did they say that was boring?
This isn't boring, but I really did hate it when Daniel gets Megan to do him a favour when she's on her day off.
Right.
And just happened to be walking by.
Right, yeah.
It's like, oh, go fuck yourself, Daniel. Seriously.
Yeah, okay.
But that wasn't boring.
Well, it was kind of boring. Like his whole, oh, you gotta help me. I've got this kid.
I think that was supposed to be funny.
Was it? Mm-hmm. It wasn't. Oh, is it? No, let's just give it to that.
No, Will can't find his sports socks.
Oh, yes. There we go. Will can't find his sports socks.
That's it.
Boring moment of the week.
If we wait long enough, the boring moment of the week always rises to the top.
It does. As does moment of the week. We almost gave it to a penis.
Yay!
It's time to find out what our Twitter followers think about this week's show in terms of yay, meh, or zzz. This week, zzz gets 25%, meh gets 47.5%, and yay gets 27.5%. I think that's probably fair. It's a week after a big week, and that's usually a dust settling sort of week, and that's really what we got. I had written it as a short wee week of Corrie, but was it buying out Maggie or was it responsible for Billy's death? Let us know. And Daniel writes, this implies that being responsible for Billy's death is a bad thing.
Oh!
Thank you very much, Daniel. We don't take these scores.
Has anybody checked on Den?
No. Oh, God, no. We really should. But we don't let these scores influence our scores, of course. So, Helen, what would you give the show out of 10 this week?
I mean, it wasn't bad.
No, I think it was perfectly
It
acceptable.
was okay.
Yep.
Like you said, it's kind of the dust settling week. So nothing really rocks the boat too much. Mm-hmm. Even things that should rock the boat a little bit, like the end of Becky.
Yep.
6.5.
I'm about the 6.5 mark as well.
Yeah.
I think it would be more if the show wasn't trying to make out that the things that happened last week didn't really happen.
Right, yes.
All right, let's wrap this one up then. This episode was brought to you with thanks to our friends of the podcast: Daisy, French Helen, Pickles, DT, Wendy, Noel, Canadian Helen, Christy, Shandy, English Victoria, Aurora Yvonne, Heather Westerfield, Russell Whiting, Brittany Porter, Laurie Anna, Tina, Leah, Tara J, Fiona B, Canadian Jennifer, Josephine O'Tingy, Anne Greenwood, Trish R, Sarah Purbrick, Ali Q, Hunker Munker, Darren, the artist formerly known as Seal My Fridge, Pamela, Marge JT, Tom Ambrose, Christopher Anstey, Terry in LA, Joe T, Corey Dales, Matthew McKenney, Welsh Emma, Matthew S, Rachel B, Uranium Jennifer, Catherine Montero, Gary Heatley, and Pam, but not that one.
Whew! We have 2 Pams. How did that happen? I'm not mad at it, but it's shocking.
Shocking?
How many Pams do you know in real life?
Don't think I know any Pams in real life.
1, our local mayor.
Oh, yeah. Well done, Pam. If you've ever been a local mayor of a small Midwest town, writing to tell us about it, Pam, we're the Talk of the Street at gmail.com, and we're at Corrie Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads and Blue Sky, or reach us the old-fashioned way, the Talk of the Street, PO Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan, 48827. Our spoiler show will be available shortly after this one, and in this month's classics, we're talking about episode 742. Get access to this exclusive content by becoming a friend of the podcast at ko-fi.com/the Talk of the Street, patreon.com/the Talk of the Street, or youtube.com/the Talk of the Street podcast. Check out voggle.co.uk for links to our merch store, YouTube channel and blog. And if you're so inclined, please leave a rating and a review on the iTunes or your podcast provider of choice. And be sure to check out our pop culture sister podcast, The List of Lists.
Sweet Caroline.
Bum, bum, bum. Thanks for making it to the end of another episode, and we will be back next week with more
Talk of the Street.
The Talk of the Street.
Bye.
Cheerio.